Hello learners, welcome back to my channel. So in the series of operating system subject, we are left with few topics, and the next topic is IO system. Here we have to discuss how there is a communication takes place between CPU and input output devices. What do you mean by IO devices? The peripheral devices. Central processing unit is connected with the different peripheral devices, our IO devices, that is input output devices. Some are input devices, some are output devices, some are both. So these peripheral devices are connected with the CPU. How these devices are connected, how the data transfer between CPU and different peripheral devices are done, we will be discussing that, and then move towards the modes of IO transfer after discussing this. So here you can see that CPU is here. Here we have connected different IO devices with 3 lines, and these 3 lines are address bus, control bus and data bus. Okay, CPU has their internal bus. I am not talking about its internal bus. With that internal bus, it connected with the registers, that is directly connected with the CPU to store the local temporary data or the instruction. But here these buses are used to connect the peripheral devices with the CPU so that input and output processing can be done. So there it needs address bus, control bus and data bus. Address bus is used to flow the address from where the read or write are to be done. Control bus determines what to perform, what are the things, whether you want to input that, whether you want to take input or whether you want to write something. So if you want to read something, so there should be a read command. If you want to write something, there should be a write command, like that. So there will be command what to do with the address which is written in the address bus, and the data which is actually there, which is reading from the input devices or writing to the input or output devices, will be present in the data bus. But as you can see, these input output devices are connected with one interface. Every devices are connected with the interface. Why it is so? Here I have written 3 points. These 3 points denotes why do we need this interface between CPU and different peripheral devices. As you all know, the speed of the CPU is very much high. It may execute 1 million instruction in a second. 1 million instruction in a second can be executed by the CPU. Whereas the speed of different IO devices are different. If I talk about the keyboard, you can hardly give 2-3 characters or maximum 5 characters in a second, not more than that, right? So if you are taking input from the keyboard, you need to match the speed between the CPU and the keyboard. Our CPU time is very much precious. We cannot waste its time, right? For that we need interface to fill this mismatch, speed mismatch between the CPU and IO. Okay. The another thing is, our different IO devices use different data formats and code, and CPU follows different data format and code. Like if our CPU is of 64-bit and different IO devices are of different bit, so there should be a conversion between, whenever there is a transfer between data transfer between CPU and keyboard, that conversion should be done, and that would be done by that interface. Our input output devices are made up of electromechanical devices or electromagnetic devices. Our input output devices are like that, and our CPU is electronic devices. So there should be a signal conversion, right? If you are giving input to this IO device, that electronic signal should be changed to the signal of in the signal format of that particular IO device. And if you are taking input or taking input from the IO device, that signal conversion may be required. So these interfaces are used to perform all these operations so that there will be efficient communication between CPU and keyboard. Okay, so in this way our IO systems are connected with the CPU to perform some operations with this 3 address bus. These 3 address bus are connected with every devices, and every input output devices are connected with the interface in between, which will perform all these operations for on behalf of it. Okay, so before moving into the modes of IO transfer, like these are the connection कि IO devices से कैसे connected होंगे, but how these IO devices are transferring the information to the CPU, what are the methods that is used to perform this operation. Okay, how this CPU and IO devices are communicating with each other. So that is actually the topic, modes of IO transfer. So let's move to it. Okay, so this is modes of IO transfer. There are 3 ways through which you can perform communication between CPU and your IO devices. The first one is programmed IO, second interrupt driven IO, and third is DMA, that is direct memory access. So the first thing, that is programmed IO, we will be discussing these 3 methods in detail in upcoming videos. But before discussing all these 3 topics, I would like to tell you about what is interrupt. Right? So what is interrupt? As in our daily life, what could be the interrupt? If you are listening to music and someone will ask you something, and if you are watching your favorite movie and someone will switch off the TV, or the power cut will be there, so there will be interrupt. ठीक? So the same type of interrupt is there in the computer system also. We have to deal with that type of interrupt. So what are the things which can generate interrupt in computer system? Like some sensors. If you are using some sensors in your computer system, that whenever that sensor gives some information to the computer system, the computer or the CPU has to stop its normal operation and first have to service the interrupt, so that the interrupt can be handled efficiently, and the time it has generated, at the time it has generated and demands the service, so that will not harm our computer system. ठीक है, तो कुछ भी sensors हो सकते हैं, like sensor can be used to detect the heat generated in our computer system. When the heat will goes to some threshold value, the sensor will give a signal or interrupt to the CPU that stop performing the operation or keep your speed slow, so that the heat can be reduced and the proper functioning can be done. So like that, there are various sensors attached in our computer system. They need instant service, so they can create interrupt. Second thing is like timer. We have studied CPU scheduling algorithm. There we have studied round robin scheduling algorithm. There we use the timer, where we give a fixed amount of time to each of the processes executing in the system, right? So we don't want the process to execute all the time. We give it a particular fixed timer, and that timer will be set by the programmer, and once that timer goes out, the CPU will switch to another process. So that is the interrupt to the CPU, that wait, your time is over, now you have to switch to another process, leave the process which you are executing, like that. Then another interrupt in the computer system is trap. Trap could be hardware trap or software trap. Software trap means like if you are performing some program and there you are dividing a number by 0. So you cannot, if you are dividing the number by 0, you will get infinity, and you cannot store infinity anywhere in the registers, right? So that is actually exception. That is an interrupt that you have to deal with it instantly or handle it differently. You cannot go with a normal execution, right? That is a software interrupt. And the hardware interrupts are like, if, as you all know, in process communication, every process has their own process address space. तो अगर एक process execute हो रहा है and it is interfering or trying to access the address space of another process, then there will be interrupt. That is hardware interrupt. Okay, and that is known as hardware trap. ठीक? And the last one is what we are reading, that is IO. The IO devices can also create interrupt. ठीक है, IO devices to communicate with the CPU, they can also generate interrupt. Okay, so there are various IO devices like सबसे ज़्यादा प्रायोरिटी IO डिवाइस में किसकी होती है, जिसकी स्पीड सबसे ज़्यादा होती है. किसकी स्पीड सबसे ज़्यादा होती है, हार्ड डिस्क की स्पीड सबसे ज़्यादा होती है. तो क्योंकि हार्ड डिस्क से अगर मान लो आपने CPU हार्ड डिस्क से कम्युनिकेट कर रहा है, ठीक, हार्ड डिस्क अपना डेटा कहाँ डाल रहा है, IO कंट्रोलर के. हार्ड डिस्क अपना डेटा IO कंट्रोलर को दे रहा है. If you are reading from the hard disk and giving it to controller to write it into the main memory, at the time, if you will not service this hard disk interrupt at that particular time because उसकी speed ज़्यादा है, वो block oriented device है, not the stream oriented device. तो block oriented device है, block में उसका data transfer हो रहा है. अगर आपने उसको instant action नहीं लिया, then the data may be overwritten. ठीक है, कंट्रोलर के पास में भी नेक्स्ट डेटा आ जाए अगर आपने उसको तुरंत एक्सेस नहीं किया. तो दैट इंटरप्ट ऑफ IO डिवाइस विच इज़ हैविंग द हाइएस्ट स्पीड हैज़ टू बी सेटल डाउन वेरी फास्ट. देन द नेक्स्ट प्रायोरिटी कुड बी गिवन टू माउस. आपने देखा है माउस हम कैसे करते हैं, यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ अगर माउस हम लेके जा रहे हैं तो एट एवरी सेकेंड ऑफ every fraction of second you are generating a different number of pixels, and that number of pixels has to be processed very fast. If you will not process it, that pixel you may lose that pixel, right? So इसलिए mouse भी हमारा एक priority IO device है that generates interrupt to the CPU to give service to it. Okay, and then printer could be there. Printer भी हमारा block oriented device है. And then scanner again block oriented device है. Then keyboard is a very lowest priority IO device because it is a stream oriented device. We won't transfer the data in a block way. Here we are giving character by character by character. That is a stream oriented device. So keyboard is a stream oriented device where the sequence of characters are transferred one by one. Okay, so I think you have understood what is interrupt, what are the different ways through which in a computer system the interrupt can be generated, and what are the different, because I will be talking about the IO devices, so I have discussed what are the different IO devices which can generate the interrupt and what are the priorities of these IO devices. So in the next video we will be discussing the first method of modes of IO transfer, that is programmed IO. So be with me and do watch that video. I'll mention the link of that video in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe. It takes lot of time to make one video. If you like my video and subscribe my channel, that will motivate me to make more videos. Thanks again.